And there it is. Oh my God, it's beautiful. This is my favorite appetizer to bring to people's houses for the holidays or even just a party, because I can make it ahead of time. And if I'm going within the next few days, just refrigerate it. And if it's going to be a while, I can freeze it and then just heat it up before I go. So let me show you everything you're going to need. First, you're going to need some pizza crust. You can buy it in the can, or you can make your own or get the stuff that you can roll out from the store. You will also need 1/3 pound of thinly sliced pepperoni. Please make sure it's thinly sliced so that you can cut it easily. Then for the cheeses, I use the mix that has provolone, Asiago, mozzarella, and Parmesan because it's just so flavorful. And then I also have a little bit of cheddar jack, or even just plain cheddar would be fine. So that's everything that goes in the bread. Let me tell you what I do to the crust before I put those ingredients on. So once my dough is rolled out, I don't put all the ingredients on until I brush the dough with my own concoction. First, you want to separate 2 eggs, and I'm gonna put the whites in here because I do have to mix up the yolks. Just put the whites aside for now. They're going to be part of the coating of the bread before I bake it. So in the yolks, you want to put about a tablespoon of light olive oil, and then garlic powder. I don't really measure it, but I would say maybe that's a half a teaspoon. Then I want to put a generous helping, maybe a tablespoon of parsley. Then I want to whisk this up so it becomes almost like a mayonnaise, but not quite. So now this goes on to the dough, and it just gives everything a little kick, a little more flavor. And then I brush it out so that it's evenly distributed. Once that's all beautifully coated, then you can skip this step, but I do it because I love Parmesan cheese. I sprinkle a little light layer of that over the top before I start to put my ingredients on. And this is how thin I like it, really, really thin, so it breaks apart pretty easily when you cut it and when you're eating it. So the first layer to go down is an even layer of pepperoni. The next layer is going to be that Italian cheese mix. I do this pretty generously. Let's say about half of the bag. And just make sure that's in an even layer. Now, more pepperoni. For this next layer, if you wanted to just put the Italian cheese mix again or mozzarella, that's fine. But I love a little cheddar jack in here because it gives it an extra something, and people don't know what it is, but I'm telling all of you now. So I just do this in a very light layer over the top. Makes it a bit more special. And now you have to roll it. I always start from where I am, roll away from myself, and it's a matter of just grabbing, tucking, going along the whole thing. And then once you get there, start to pull the ingredients and pull the dough. This is why it's important that we left that 1 inch at the end, because I am going to need to seam it. And then once I turn it over, I just pinch the seam. And if the dough's sticky, it'll do it pretty quickly, but if it's not, I just hold it for a little bit and then it will seal up. It's important that you have this sealed because if not, when you're baking, it will pop open and you will lose some of the ingredients, and you'll probably get some grease on the pan, which will make the bread a little bit greasy, and you don't want to do that. Then I tuck the ends in, give them a press, make sure that they're sealed. And once I feel that this is going to stay closed, I'll flip it over. Now into the egg whites, I'm going to add oregano, some parsley, and again, because I'm me, I am going to add some Parmesan. You can never have enough. Mix this all up. Now it's time to paint. So this adds a nice color to the pepperoni bread, makes it look a little more professionally done than homemade. And there you go, it's time to bake. Do not forget this step. Pierce the pepperoni bread in 4 places at least, because then the steam can come out of it and your pepperoni bread won't explode. Now it goes into the oven at 350 degrees for about 25 to 30 minutes, and I set a timer for 15 minutes. I do a full turn in the oven and then take it out about 10 or 15 minutes after that. It's ready. Okay, it's done and it's beautiful. Now, bubbly, sizzly, you have to let it rest for about 5 to 7 minutes until you cut into it, and you have to let it rest for about 20 minutes if you're going to refrigerate it or freeze it. Put it in tin foil. Did I wait as long as I should have to cut this? No. Do I ever wait as long as I should to cut this? Also no. Look at that steam. And there it is. Oh my God. When I cut this up for an appetizer, I do about a 1/2 inch slice so that I can get as many as possible out of the dough. So it's about like that. But I should wait to eat this. Optimal word being should. People stop me at the door when I go to their house. If I don't have this in my hands, they're like, turn around, go home. We know you have some in the freezer, go get it. Hopefully this becomes your go-to anytime you need an appetizer or need something to bring to somebody's house. Pepperoni bread 101. You gotta try it.